DJ, I may have just created one of the most complete beginner drones we've seen under 250 grams. The Lito X1 combines a large 1/1.3-inch camera sensor, 4K slow motion, omnidirectional obstacle sensing, and even forward-facing LiDAR. But impressive specifications don't always make a drone worth buying. So, is the DJI Lito X1 really the new sub-250-gram champion? Or are you better off saving money with the Lito 1 or the older Mini 3? Let's find out. Before we continue, one important clarification. This is a specification-based review. We haven't personally flight tested this aircraft, so we're not going to pretend that we have. Instead, we've analyzed DJI's official specifications, the Lito X1's feature set, and how it compares with other compact DJI drones. That means we can tell you what the hardware promises, where the major upgrades are, and who should or should not consider buying it. For the complete specification table and side-by-side comparisons, you can also visit droneranker.com through the link in the description. The Lito X1 sits at the premium end of DJI's new beginner-focused Lito range. It folds down into a compact, travel-friendly body and weighs approximately 249 grams with its standard battery. That number matters because sub-250-gram drones generally face lighter regulatory requirements in many regions. But the Lito X1 isn't interesting simply because it is small. DJI has tried to place features normally associated with more expensive drones into this lightweight body. A relatively large camera sensor, advanced tracking modes, modern 04 transmission, omnidirectional vision sensing, and a forward-facing LiDAR system. In other words, the X1 is designed for someone who wants the portability of a beginner drone without giving up the safety and imaging tools of a more advanced model. With the standard battery installed, the Lito X1 stays around that important 249-gram threshold. However, buyers need to pay attention to the battery configuration. DJI also offers a larger Intelligent Flight Battery Plus, which substantially increases flight time, but also pushes the total weight above 250 grams. That can change the rules that apply to the aircraft, depending on your country or region. So the larger battery isn't automatically the better choice. If remaining in the lightest regulatory category is important to you, the standard battery is the safer option. The folded dimensions also make the X1 easy to carry, although this isn't a radically smaller aircraft than DJI's previous Mini models. Its real portability advantage comes from combining a small body with a much more complete safety system. The camera is where the Lito X1 begins to separate itself from basic entry-level drones. At its core is a 1/1.3-inch CMOS sensor with 48-megapixel photo capability, paired with a 24mm equivalent lens and a bright f1.7 aperture. Now, megapixels alone don't determine image quality. The larger sensor and bright aperture are more meaningful because they should allow the camera to collect more light, especially around sunset or in other challenging conditions. The Lito X1 can capture JPEG and DNG RAW photographs, giving more experienced users additional flexibility when recovering shadows, controlling highlights, or adjusting color in post-production. But this is also where the comparison becomes interesting. The older DJI Mini 3 uses a similarly sized sensor in the same bright aperture. So the Lito X1's biggest camera advantage isn't necessarily basic daylight photography. It's what DJI has built around the sensor, and that includes faster video modes, advanced color, better tracking, and a significantly more capable safety system. Video is where the Lito X1 starts to feel more advanced than a typical beginner drone. It can record up to 4K at 100 frames per second, giving you much smoother slow-motion footage than the Mini 3. It also supports 10-bit D-Log-M, which gives experienced editors more flexibility when adjusting colors, highlights, and shadows. For social media creators, the drone can also capture vertical video without forcing you to crop a normal horizontal shot later. So while the basic camera sensor may look familiar, the video tools around it are clearly more modern. DJI advertises up to 36 minutes of flight time with the standard battery. But the more useful number is the typical flight time of around 23 minutes, while recording and flying in less than perfect conditions. The larger Plus battery extends that considerably, although it also pushes the aircraft above the 249-gram category. For most beginners, the standard battery should be enough for short filming sessions, but serious users will probably want at least 2 or 3 batteries. The biggest reason to choose the Lito X1 may not be its camera. It may be the safety and transmission system. The drone uses DJI's O4 transmission platform, offering a stronger and more reliable video connection than the older O2 system found on the Mini 3. More importantly, the X1 combines omnidirectional obstacle sensing with forward-facing LiDAR. Traditional vision sensors depend heavily on light and visible surface detail. LiDAR measures distance using laser pulses, which can provide a more reliable warning in darker or more difficult environments. It still doesn't make the drone impossible to crash, especially around thin branches or wires, but it should give beginners a much better safety net. So how does the Lito X1 compare with DJI's cheaper alternatives? The Lito one is the better option if your priority is simply getting an affordable, easy-to-use DJI drone. But the X1 adds the larger sensor, more advanced video options, better obstacle sensing, and LiDAR. The Mini 3 remains a capable camera drone, especially if you find it at a discounted price. However, its older transmission system and more limited safety hardware make it feel less complete for a first-time pilot. The Lito X1 costs more, but you're mainly paying for safer flying, better video tools, and a more modern overall package. So, is the DJI Lito X1 worth buying? On paper, it looks like one of DJI's most complete lightweight drones for beginners and content creators. It offers strong camera hardware, advanced video modes, modern transmission, and a much more capable obstacle detection system than cheaper models. The Lito one still makes more sense for buyers on a strict budget, while the Mini 3 remains attractive when heavily discounted. But if you want the most complete feature set without moving to a larger drone, the Lito X1 is the strongest overall choice of the 3. You can find our complete specifications and side-by-side comparisons on DroneRanker.com through the links in the description. If this video helped, subscribe for more drone reviews and comparisons.